Anybody in the foyer, please come on in. And as we reset the clock, Dr. Jacoby, it is your turn for your rebuttal.
The Quran tells Christians they should follow the revelations in the gospel. That's in Surah 3, Ayat 3. The Gospels show us, but not only the Gospels show us Jesus' divinity. In Mark, as we've seen, Jesus acts like God. He usurps things that only God would do, and he's described as, with that divine term, Son of God. But we see the same thing happening in Matthew, in Luke, and in John. Now, limitations. You might say he's not God because he's limited, because he doesn't have all knowledge. You referred to, I think it was Mark 13:32. Someone asked him about the time of his coming. I don't know, only the Father. Not even the angels know. But what the Christians don't believe that Jesus was Father, Son, and Spirit, or that he was the Father on the earth. They think he became human. And the incarnation means limitation. No longer was he omnipresent. He was not in all places at one time. He was geographically confined to one single place. He didn't have all knowledge. But that's not surprising to me because he becomes flesh. He got tired. Even John presents him that way. John 4, Jesus gets tired. He sweats. He's under the pressures and temptations that we're all under, as it says in Hebrews 4. But we don't even need to go to the Gospels, because earlier we have the letters that refer to Jesus as our great God and Savior. The letters that refer to him as our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, or God. And I see that in Romans, I see that in 2 Peter explicitly, I see it in Titus, and I see it in many other places. The Quran and the Muslim tradition will claim that the Gospels have been changed. Somehow they've been corrupted, they've been changed. But I say no. They've not been changed. There's no manuscript evidence that the Gospels have been changed, and Shabir did not give me an example of a manuscript that turned up that gives any problem for the Christian position. What I think Muhammad was saying is not that the Christians corrupted the Gospel. It's that not that they changed the written Gospel, but they corrupted Christianity. I think there's abundant evidence for that. But there's nothing remarkable about such a claim, because Jesus himself said in Matthew 24 that the love of most will go cold. John said there are many false prophets in the world, 1 John 4:1, and 2 Peter 3:1-2. Peter says that there will be false teachers among the people. But there's no evidence that the core gospel message has been changed. And if people are just putting words in Jesus' mouth, well then very well, they made some mistakes, because it would have been very handy if they're just making stuff up to have Jesus tell us what is the answer to the issue of the spiritual gifts, or what's church government, and there'll be another apostle coming along. His name will start with a P. And, the Christians did not feel at liberty to put words in his mouth. This idea that the divinity developed, the Son of God developed, no. It's at every stage there. Now, it's a common misconception in our day, and I think it's spread especially by that New Testament scholar Dan Brown of the Da Vinci Code, that there's a conspiracy that the church didn't want people to find out that Jesus wasn't divine. They're afraid that they would find out he was just a human. But this is anachronistic, and it's also the kind of thing someone says who hasn't read a lot of ancient history. Because even in the first century, it was much more easy for the people in the Mediterranean world to believe that Jesus was a god than to believe that he was fully human. We have 1 and 2 John in the New Testament because of this very problem. Some Christians are thinking, well, he's so spiritual, can he really have a body? The issue wasn't, was he divine? The issue was he fully human? And the church had these councils that talked about it, because this is abstract stuff and it's tough. Even atheist New Testament scholar Bart Ehrman, maybe the best known atheist in the US, that's quite possible. He admits that all four Gospels, all four, not John, Luke, Matthew, but all four, Mark included, proclaim Jesus is divine. The deity is at the very beginning. He's portrayed that way. To me, there's no problem with this logically. Human and divine in one person may sound like a contradiction. How could you be God and human? But we have flesh and spirit uniting in one person. In us, we have flesh and spirit. So why not human and God? God becomes one of us. He said he would do it in the Old Testament. Jesus made remarkable claims. His followers endorsed those. And that is what accounts for the rise of Christianity. When you look at that and you look at how Jesus reflects God as his son through his amazing miracles, even raising the dead, through his influence today, which is visible, we realize that this is not just a prophet, not just more than a prophet. It's actually what the early Christians were saying all along. Jesus is Lord, and we can experience that if we open ourselves to it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.